Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me? Over.
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. All right. What's going on, everybody? Friday Night's Eve. Baby Friday. God damn, it's almost the weekend. Hey, huge heads up. This is the last show of the year. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to fix some of this stuff on the, I guess there's something wrong when people are viewing the show online. I'm seeing that, when you use your phone, I guess all you can see is just my big ass forehead. So I'll try to see if I can fix it a little bit, and that way stay a little bit out of the frame or a little bit further out. Not sure why it's doing that on the phone, on your phone devices. So, but we'll see if we can. I'll get with Brian Coburn and see how we can fix that. That way you guys get a little bit better of the frame. But hey, you're here for the show anyway, so whether you see my big ass forehead or not, who gives a shit, right? So hey, I want heads up. This is the last show of this year. It's the holidays, and I think it's a time for us to be with all our loved ones and our families. So, go ahead and spend starting next week or starting today, next week when the holidays and all the craziness happens. Hey, spend time with your family. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, all that good stuff. So let's let me just get all the pleasantries out of the way, and then see if we can, and then we'll move forward. So, hey, this show is brought to you by me, all done by me. Nothing but me. I don't get paid for doing this show whatsoever. I mean, all I get to do is just out of the kindness of my heart. It's basically, I bring this. I do this as a form of therapy, not only to me but also for you. So, yeah. I mean, stick around. So, if I'm in the finance industry, I put a lot of information out on TikTok and social media. As a matter of fact, I got a couple of announcements. Hopefully I won't forget after this before I kick on the show. But hey, first of all, congratulations to all the service members. I think all active duty minus National Guard, I think, or reserves are not going to get the $1,776 that President Trump just approved for all service members. So congratulations on that. What I would say is let me work with you and put that money to good use, especially if you're in your mid to late 20s or early 30s. I think that would be a phenomenal time to make that money work for you as it pertains to basically your VA claims. As it pertains to finances and putting something in and setting yourself for retirement. Or after service, implementing strategies that are going to set you up financially that much better off. Okay, and then in addition to that, I also help veterans putting for their VA claims and benefits. I think it's important that you take advantage of those things. No matter if you've been out a year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, it's never too late to apply. So it's a little bit. It makes things a little bit more complicated, but not too much. Nonetheless, I mean, these are your benefits, and I highly hope that you take advantage. That you take advantage of them, and that set yourself up for success. Okay, all right. So, and take advantage of all the good things, especially with all the good changes that are coming up down the pipeline. So, two things I want to talk about. One, I just put out on social media if you want to take advantage of your VA home loan, and by the way, just because you bought something now doesn't mean that you can't use it. That you can't use it, because you can have multiple loans. You can have a VA, what they call a piggyback loan. So you can go on my social media, but you can reach my buddy Joe Garcia. He is licensed in several states, like Texas, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. Anyways, you could go right there on on all my social media platforms. Get in touch with him, get educated, because there's a lot of good things that you can do with your VA home loan. And the other thing is that the Semper Fi fund, those of you who, if you've been a recipient of the Semper Fi fund or no, the Semper Fi fund is getting ready to have a class on January 25th, I believe, for combat related special compensation, CRSC, which is a program that if you're retired, if you're military retired, have combat veterans, or you're military retired with due to medical reasons, you may be entitled to apply for the combat related special compensation through DFAS. As a matter of fact, January will be enrollment period, so you can put your package together, because I think by mid-February or late February is when the window will close. I highly recommend that you apply, especially look into it. You could go to the DFAS website. I also have done couple of TikToks as well. It's on my social media platforms. It's on the show description. You go to my link tree, it'll take you to all my social media platforms, and look for that. And if it's something that you might benefit from, and you get tax advantages, why not? You earn these benefits, so go for it. All right. And the show at the end of the day is we're all about supporting one another. We're all about supporting the Constitution, right to bear arms, freedom of speech, and whatever else. So if you like the show, like, subscribe, and follow. Follow me on all my other platforms. Help me with the analytics. Help me get the show out there. So let's help some more people. And if you want to be on the show, you want to be a guest, by all means. I always love having people over on the show. Okay. And if not, check out Brian Coburn. He's got a lot of good stuff on sitchradio.com as well. So hit me up, and then we'll go from there. All right. So let's talk holidays. I'm going to take you through a journey, I guess, of Christmases from the past. Our vibrant traditions. Growing up as a kid in Latin America and Colombia, to also celebrating Christmas here in the U.S., which is totally different for the most part, and as well as how I celebrated the Christmases while I was on active duty. Not only by myself, but also, with my own family, with my kids and everything else. So, it's this show today, I guess, is part reflection, part storytelling, but, with a lot of heart, obviously, a lot of good memories. So whether you're a veteran, an immigrant, or just someone simply trying to hold on to the joy of, I guess, of 'tis the season, so to speak, I guess this episode is for you. You know what I'm saying? From fireworks on December 24th, growing up in Medellin, Colombia, to eating MREs under the stars, and just kind of shedding a tear for your family while you're in the middle of friggin' nowhere. It shaped my understanding of being grateful for what you have. And that, things could always be worse. Trust me on that. But also, the power of sharing and connecting with your fellow service members, or your comrades, so to speak, as you're through these times of adversity. So, I was born and raised in Medellin, Colombia. Obviously, in Latin America, we celebrate Christmas. It's not Christmas Day. It's actually, we celebrate Christmas Eve, or Noche Buena. Good, I guess you can translate as good night, so to speak, or holy night. So even though there is the Santa Claus or Papa Noel, as we grew up knowing it, for us, the person who brings gifts is as Ricky Bobby once said, is baby Jesus sitting in his little manger, laying down at night. And yes, so it's baby Jesus, El Niño Jesús, the who brings you your presents. So right at midnight, it's like presents magically appear. And they're not wrapped, by the way, because they're not wrapped. They just appeared in a bedroom and this and that. Uh, a lot of us either are asleep by that time and then we get woken up, or the ones that are up, most of the time we would be playing out in the street or whatever else, and then, oh my God, look, the presents arrived, and then everybody's like, you're showing off, and then you actually go out and play in the street like freaking midnight and stuff. And then fireworks and all. It's a really cool pandemonium, so to speak. If you've never experienced Christmas in Colombia, I highly recommend it. You will never experience Christmas like you will over there. So, and then there's food, and the food is amazing. There's certain, like seasonal things here, like Christmas ham, turkey, and Thanksgiving, whatever else. We also have like, certain, not traditional, just like it's the season. We have these fried dough ball things called buñuelos, and in Mexico they call buñuelos something different, but it's kind of like this dough with cheese. It's really delicious. I mean, it's, especially when they just out of the fryer, freaking amazing. And there's this other thing called natilla, which is kind of like it's basically melted brown sugar mixed with flour, water, and cinnamon, and it just kind of boiled, and then it gets hard, and then once you put in this form, you put it in the refrigerator. Anyways, it's around the holidays. It's super sweet, but it's an amazing treat. And obviously, you're playing Christmas music. For us, they're like traditional Christmas music here, and over there they call them villancicos, which is it's like the kind of like Christmas carolers, so to speak, but with a guitar and a tambourine, and they sing these old school songs and whatever else. It's really cool. And obviously we're very we're very religious centric. So we 9 days before Christmas, I know kind of like in the Jewish community, they have the Hanukkah or the 8 Christmas nights. We have some similar, like the 9 days of prayer. And it's centered all around family and just doing a bunch of stuff like that. I remember, so one Christmas, when I love watching it, when I came to the U.S., obviously the Christmas Carol, and even though I saw that movie when I was in Spanish, growing up in Colombia as a kid, again, it doesn't really make sense, but similar to that story, growing up, BB guns were kids who had money or whatever. We had there were BB guns, more pellet guns. Excuse me. Anyways, I wanted my last Christmas. I think this was my last Christmas spent in Colombia before coming to the U.S. Anyways, I wanted a pellet gun because I had a lot of friends or several friends who had them, and they were really cool. Just like the thing to have. Anyways. And that's what I asked baby Jesus for, this, pellet gun. So here it is. Midnight comes around. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. And I'm actually at the farm because on vacations we would go back to my grandparents' farm where they lived. Anyway, so there was a party. Everybody's adults were drinking, whatever. And I think I was 11 years old. Anyways, I thought I was gonna get this pellet gun. Man, I ended up getting a freaking cap gun. The old school cap guns. It's a gun, and you put the roll strip of caps that when you press the trigger, it makes this bang sound. But it's a cap gun. It wasn't what I wanted. It's the bottom line. Man, I was so disappointed. I cried. I was just like, this is some bullshit. And everything else. The other thing that we do, which kind of that same night, we do this thing of hiding the baby Jesus, right? So people go around. I'm not sure if they still do this, but people go around. The adults go around collecting money. Hey, do you have a donation or whatever to for the baby Jesus hunt, right? So you get like all this money from everybody, and then you put it around the baby Jesus, and and then they would hide it, and whoever finds it obviously wins the money and everything else. And I was this close to finding the little baby Jesus that goes on the manger. I passed by it, and then as I was reaching the adult, boom, and snatched. I was mad. So here is my childhood trauma. I didn't get the pellet gun that I wanted. I got a cap gun. I missed out on the baby Jesus. So just a lot of trauma from going back in the day, man. I think after this show, I'm gonna have to call my therapist, so to speak. But it just the traditions over there. So here I am, that in 1987, I ended up, was it 87 or 85? Holy shit. 85, no, 87. We come here to the U.S. and I ended up celebrating my Christmas. Again, here is Christmas Day. It's not Christmas Eve. Baby Jesus doesn't bring you shit. It's Santa, so it's like, okay, who is this person that's bringing it? Now, I will say that, Christmas here got an upgrade. We got a lot of shit ton of stuff because, we just came, and obviously we missed our grandma and blah, blah. So huge shout out to my parents because they did step up on the presents that those years after that being here in the U.S. So still no cab gun, but that's okay. I'll live. I actually later years on, about 1 to 2 years later, I actually ended up getting. I don't know how I got this thing. It was a Daisy BB gun, one pump. It looked like a 30-06 rifle with the pump action, but the pump was obviously to put the air. But so I did end up getting one. So I guess, hey, bonus me. And obviously being so commercialized, obviously here in the U.S. And so it just, over the years, I guess you could say I assimilated, but obviously it's still longing home. And by the way, years later, I ended up going back and spent Christmas and stuff in Colombia. And man, it's next level. It's again, if you want to experience that, I highly recommend it. The lights, the partying, the food, everything. I mean, you can take a flight over there right now. I mean, it's expensive because people from all over the world go spend Christmas over there. So, and then joining later on the Marine Corps, in that aspect, I actually ended up spending Christmas in boot camp. August, September, October, November. No, we graduated right before, right around Thanksgiving, and then get to stay home and recruiters assistants. But nonetheless, we actually spent Christmas on our way checking into Marine Combat Training, or MCT. So it's just it's weird, you're in your early 20s. You just went to boot camp and all that shit, and Christmas just takes a little bit different meaning, especially when you can't fly back, because as a private PFC Lance Corporal, you're somewhat broke because you don't make that much money. So taking a flight back, especially in the holidays, is kind of like a luxury. So there's a lot of Christmases, even when I was still single, that I couldn't spend with my mom here in Florida, among other things. But you lean on your platoon mates and everybody else, and there's a lot of cool stuff like adopt a Marine over the holidays or even for Thanksgiving, so that you can take a service member with you to your house, open up your home, so that way they're not feeling lonely. Unfortunately, their suicide rate, not only in the civilian side but also in the military, does happen around the holidays too. A lot of service members aren't home with their loved ones. So, but it was crazy. As I got older, obviously, not that Christmas wasn't a big deal to me. It's just that one night, and then your toys, whatever. But it wasn't. So and then obviously because of deployments and whatever else, being out in the field, the holidays are cool and it's great spending with friends and family. But it wasn't like put emphasis. Obviously, when I have my kids, my kids were big into that, so I would just kind of participate and do my best. But putting together that fucking Christmas tree that we had, man, look, listen, we had this Christmas tree. I don't know where my kid's mom got this thing, but this thing was it was like an 8-foot Christmas tree that it came in this giant shitty box. And over the years, if you live in California, your mice are all over the place, right? And because obviously I don't know why, but it's just mice all over the place, field mice and all that stuff. So it's common for mice to get into your garages. Doesn't matter how nice your house is and shit, or if you put traps. Anyways, the mice got into this thing. They peed all over it. It fucking stank. But hey, doing the dad thing, putting these things. And my kid's mom used to collect. She said, I collect Christmas ornaments. Bullshit. You just hoard shit. Because I mean, that's another trauma, another story. But the point here is that putting this thing together, it was for the kids mainly, because then you had to take it down, take the lights down, and it had to be perfect. And if it's not even with the ornaments and all that shit, just those are dads out there. You feel me, and you know what's up, right? But hey, do you? It is what it is. So, but I've spent Christmas out in the field. I've spent them on deployment. In 2008, when we were in Iraq, obviously I spent it out there. So, and then getting stationed in Fuji, my little girl at the time, she, are you coming home? So when I could, if I could, and when I could, I would make the effort and obviously go be there for the kids and everything else. But it just gives you a different perspective of you being gone and trying to do the best that you can, doing the America's 911 shit, and also trying to balance that as much as you can, being there for your, for your little ones. You know what I'm saying? But and then you just kind of build your own traditions. Now as I have remarried, and we're forging this new life, and we're a blended family of Colombian American / Japanese. We kind of blend our traditions together, which is really cool. When you think about it, so as we move forward, like for example, Japanese tradition, Christmas, again, like in Colombia, it's just the whole Santa Claus thing, whatever. That's more here in the U.S. than anywhere else. And listen, I've traveled all over the freaking world, and it's more commercialized here, or it's the way it is here. It's nowhere. It's a different vibe and a different tradition how Christmas is celebrated outside of the U.S. So, for example, Japanese traditions, not so much Christmas, it's more New Year's, where you give an envelope with money, and then obviously, the kids from my wife, they're used to that tradition where you say, I'm just gonna play the audio because I'm gonna butcher it right here. My wife is gonna trip when but I'm gonna play it anyways. But you hand out the little envelope with the money, and the person saying back, you say this. Oh wait, let me.
明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。
Yep. Yeah. What she just said. Oh, let me just. Oops, my bad. Anyways, what she said. 明けましておめでとうお願いします. I know she's giggling her butt off right now. Anyway, so you get the receipt. So now my wife, my wife also we send the otoshi. It's called an otoshidama. We send it out. She sends it out to obviously my kids as well. So everybody gets it. And then obviously, it's just really cool how we kind of blend in all these cultures together and then you kind of forge forward, uh, and bring all these things and kind of make your own quasi sort of Christmas. So, I just thought it was really cool. So, what are some things that I would like to reflect this year? Well, I'm really thankful for the fact that uh, doing now this year has allowed me the opportunity to be able to with my daughter. Well, after she had her surgery, I was able to be for my mom as well. Doing some personal stuff. I've been able to spend some time with my wife here as I work from home now, or Starbucks down the street. I've been able to do many of those cool things, and the veterans' lives that I've been able to help and impact by helping them with their VA claims and benefits. It's just really cool. Hey, man, thanks. I went from this to that. Hadn't it not been for you, I never would have done it. Or hey, thanks for helping me invest or whatever else. So those are really cool things, and being able to for my younger brother who has been going through it through some rough patches, but nonetheless, I've been able to help him out get through that. So I just really need, and I'm really thankful for that. And despite the chaos in the world, there's still kindness. I can see, if we look for bad stuff, we're gonna find it. But also, people say thank you for your service. People offer a meal. There's still patriotism out there. The Marine Corps turning 250th as well. That's another thing that super thankful for. And coming to realize that after 52 years of being here in this world of ours, that I still have a purpose. I still have a lot of things to give to the world, and being a better human, not only to my family but also to my community, my country, and everybody else. So, and that you don't need the fancy lights or the perfect gifts. I mean, we need to just be thankful that just connecting, being here, and seeing life from a different perspective, because we can always, despite of everything what's going on, whether you're this side or that side politically, or even in the middle, it doesn't really matter. You have a power to choose what you want these holidays to be. Okay, so let's be thankful and say a prayer for those who are still out there, deployed in the middle of nowhere, and let's say a prayer also for the ones that never made it home, and that their families who are wishing right now that they were here with us. Okay, so I think this is a good time to end the show. I do want to say that, hey, you could go online, and if you're near a base like Camp Pendleton, Miramar, 29 Palms, Edwards Air Force Base, you could go online and say, adopt a service member. Bring this. There's a lot of service members out there that, because financial reasons or whatever, they're not able to go home and they live in the barracks. Open your home to one of them and help them feel good about themselves, and not be lonely during the holidays. So you can do that. You can reach out to any organization out there and do something nice for somebody, or maybe just do somebody, volunteer at a food shelter and hand out food during the holidays, and anything else. So, but hey, look, thanks so much for supporting the show. Thanks so much for what you do for me, and as far as following me up, and the comments and the beautiful comments on social media as well. So I just want to say thank you so much. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy, what else? Feliz Navidad, Feliz Nochebuena. Que Dios me los bendiga. May God bless you. Happy New Year, everybody. And I'll see you next year. How about that? So I think this is a good time to end Dex. So yoroshiku onegai shimasu, omedetou. Hey, Daisuki, with that being said, I'm out, everybody. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye. See you next year.